Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. As I'm sure you're all aware, your TVs are being bombarded by football, well specifically the World Cup at the moment. I in particular just watched England get beat by Belgium. Wasn't that great, but Batshuayi kicked himself in the face of the ball and that was pretty cool. So I thought we'd look at my personal favourite retro sports games, or should I say my personal retro football games in particular. Sport is a whole other episode actually. So I thought I'd wear me retro Everton shirt just for the occasion. I'm sorry it's not a game shirt for once, but you know, hopefully some toffees out there will like the t-shirt. Anyway, this episode is going to be more of a retrospective rather than like a history lesson. There's a lot of games that I haven't played. One of them straight off the bat is Sensible Soccer, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to be surprised by, but you know what, if you didn't have it, you didn't play it, you know what I mean? But I'm going to show you the ones I did play and the ones that meant something to me. So here we go. So to start off, I thought we'd go chronologically from oldest to newest, well, as new as you can get with retro games. Now, I never had anything on the Master System regarding football at all, and like I said earlier, I've never played Sensible Soccer, which, well, I think I played like 2 minutes of it, but I've never had it and had any real experience with it. But the game I want to talk about here is Nintendo World Cup for the NES. Now, it was a good mate, James Bernard, that told me about this, and when he showed me the label of it, I was thinking, you know, this is not going to be up my alley at all, because it's such a stock image, sort of like word art or something like that. But when you actually look at the game itself, it's all the sprite work from River City Ransom. Tecmo back then seemed to do quite a few sports games, and this is just such a fun game to play, I'm telling you. The music's boss, it's just really appealing to look at, and when you pull off one of those overhead kicks, it's quite the moment, and it's well worth it, let me tell you. You should definitely get all of this game if you can. Now we can talk about Sega, and the game at hand is World Cup Italia 90. Most people skim past this because it comes with Mega Games 1, but I've actually got that and the original copy of the game. And let me tell you, this is such a special game to my heart. I used to play it all the time with one of my best mates, Josh Bernard, and the two-player on this game, when you both understand the mechanics and you both properly know how to play, so give yourself about 10 minutes to learn how to properly get into it, have a few practice matches, and when the music kicks in and you hear that scream at the beginning when you first load the game up, it just becomes like, I don't know, it's like nostalgic to me now, and it's such a chess match. Honestly, when you both understand how to play the game, it ends up being like a 10-10 and it goes right down to the wire. That being said though, although I do probably consider it my favourite two-player retro football game, the one-player really shows its downfall because it's basically impossible. I mean, I was looking at that Sega Complete Solution Guide that I got from Soulfrom's Retro Games, and it has like quite a nice homage to the World Cup in the 90s, but other than that, the only advice it gives, it says shoot from angles, and that's my real advice for this game. When you're playing, especially against another human being, dribble at angles, always go diagonally, because if you're running straight forward, you're going to get taken out because there's no cards in this game. It's all sliding tackles, and it leads to some great fun. But the only advice that these had for me was shoot from angles and go one of the best teams in the game, go like Brazil. So that just says something about how hard it is. I've never even got past the group stages, and I've definitely not won the World Cup in it. I'll definitely do some Let's Play this in future, and you never know, maybe I'll win the World Cup then. Sticking with the 16-bit consoles now, we're going to move over to the SNES, and I know there was the likes of like FIFA 96 and all that type of stuff, and the only real thing I remember about that, in all honesty, is the indoor mode. But the game that I want to talk about is International Superstar Soccer, ISS. This, to me, quite possibly could be the very best retro football game out there. The sprites are amazing, it runs so smoothly, it looks like an arcade game, the commentary is great, the gameplay is, it's the most similar to a recent game from that era, and it's the only one where I started playing it and I didn't have to have quite a big learning curve. I just went straight into it and I could just go through the game straight away. It's one of those games which is a must play. A lot of people aren't into sports games, you look at them and you think, oh, whatever, but generally ISS is a brilliant game. The best equivalent I can say, it's probably something like NBA Jam or something like that, where it's one of those games where people are like, oh, you've got to play this. International Superstar Soccer on the SNES, I can't give it enough praise, it's amazing. The only thing that I'm going to say is it might not be the best one. I've never played ISS Deluxe, which I'd really love to have because it's actually blue, and as you can see, I am a toffee, so I'd rather have the blue one. But that one, it's got all the national sides on it as well, it's had some sprites sorted out, it's got more scenarios on it, and I believe there's better options for two-player mode as well. But that is the only possible improvement which does exist. So when I get that, again, maybe I'll do a bit of gameplay on it, but you never know. For right now, all I can say is ISS for the Super Nintendo is my, for up to now, is probably for the 16-bit era, is probably the best game. It's a complete game. 2 players good, 1 player is good. Everything about it is quality. You gotta get this game. For me, it's a 5-star. We move forward a generation now to the 32-bit console, the PlayStation 1, and we're going to talk about FIFA 99, which many people regard to be the first time that FIFA properly overtook international superstar soccer for the leading brand with football games. Now the problem with FIFA on the SNES, I touched upon it before, but really it was mainly the indoor mode that people liked. I mean, there were other good things about the game as well, but there was so much stop-start, and to me personally, it's sort of unplayable. A lot of them, they're very difficult to get a hand of, and they're just not that fun, to be perfectly honest. They're just not as fun as ISS. But FIFA 99, what a game that is. The controls are very smooth on it, the skill moves are brilliant, the music's boss. It's just an all-round fun game, and it's got the rosters on it as well. Unfortunately for me, Everton were quite shit at that time, so it's not the best to go an Everton team on it, I'll be honest. But it's well worth getting hold of. It's a hell of a game. Can't recommend it enough. Also for the PlayStation 1, a year before this, ISS Pro 98 came out. Now this shows the difference between the direction that the two games are going in. ISS, I think it might have been a big part because they didn't have the rosters and the licensing, but they went for more of an arcade type of style, and everything about it is good as well, all the controls and everything, but there's just something about FIFA 99. I think they could see the finish line, and they just went for a more polished approach, because ISS Pro 98 is a great game and everything, but there's something about it which just doesn't hold up to FIFA 99. Although, like I said, it's more of a fun game. It's an arcade type of style game. It's still 100% worth getting. They're both great games. A lot of sports games are just completely overshadowed, as I said earlier, but these two are well worth getting. And talking about ISS Pro 98, it comes with a Japanese demo of Metal Gear Solid 1. Now, this is one of the best games ever made, and hearing the Colonel and Snake talking their own tongue is worth paying the 50p that I paid the car boot sale for this game alone. So, highest recommendations there. Pick them up. They're the two to get on PS1. Let's talk about the game from the PlayStation 2 era now. Probably the most notable thing is that ISS changed its name to Pro Evolution Soccer. I'm not 100% sure why this happened, but it is what happened. Now, the only one of those games that I had was PES 2 or PES 2002 or whatever. It was probably the only one that I actually enjoyed playing, to be honest, because with the PlayStation 2, I was more into, I mean, that's the time where I was playing Metal Gear Solid 2, Final Fantasy X, Tekken 4, my 3 favourite PS2 games, and I was just playing them over and over and over again. So I wasn't really that into the sports games at this time, to be perfectly honest. But a lot of people who were have told me FIFA were basically just trying too much too soon with the hardware, and they were going for a much more serious approach. Whereas I remember with Pro Evo, you could play as like a fucking dinosaur and like a shark and everything, and to be honest, they seem to be the more renowned games. I mean, Red Card Football, for instance, that's a brilliant game. Well, maybe not brilliant, but it's a very fun game, more arcade style, and you can turn red cards off and all that type of stuff, and you can do some crazy shit in that game, so I recommend getting that. I mean, I picked up my copy for £1, so come on, it's got to be worth that. But the games that I was into from FIFA were the FIFA Street games. They took a very different approach, a more arcade style, a big leaf out of Pro Evo's book, and I like that you can make your own team and use some of the very best players in the world on it and everything. But the actual game like that I want to talk about, is Nintendo's imitation, Mario Smash Football. Now this game I only picked up in more recent years, but I have played this so much now. A lot on me Bang & Olufsen, to be honest, which looks amazing. And this game is so fun. It's 100% worth getting. Every time you score, you can do like super goals and stuff like that. And you know, I know it's just imitating FIFA Street, and to be honest, it could have taken more elements from FIFA Street, but it's 100% worth getting. And I would love it if Mario Smash Football 2 came out on the Switch. They really missed a chance here with the World Cup being out, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, highest recommendations, get your GameCube out, play that game. Okay everyone, so that is the end of the video. Like I said earlier, this is a retrospective and not a history lesson, so if there's any game that I didn't mention that you'd love, just let me know in the comments, because maybe I'll do a let's play on it or something like that if it's really that great. As I said throughout the video, I think ISS for the SNES is probably the best well-rounded retro football game. It's a 5-star, you've got to get it. But if you just want to have some fun, yeah, make sure you get World Cup Italia 90. Play that on 2-player or just turn it on for that scream. Honestly, it's my favourite thing about the whole game, to be honest, other than the wicked overhead kicks. But other than that, I'll mention the World Cup in real life right now. We've just seen England get beat by Belgium, so even though it's an easier run of games, I don't know if we're going to be able to beat Colombia, but you never know. Maybe Jordan Pickford will be walking around Goodison Park with that World Cup, bringing football home, you know what I mean? But I think that Croatia, maybe Portugal, you know, they're both underdogs, but they're both very confident teams with a lot of world-class players. France as well, I think they might do it, but you never know with the World Cup. That's why it's the best competition in the world. Speaking about the actual channel for 5 minutes right now, maybe not 5 minutes, a bit of an exaggeration, but speaking about the channel right now, I don't know if anyone's seen my social media posts, but I've just had my business cards done. They were done by my mate Ryan Holland, not Rion. He's one of my best mates, so we always call him Rion because that's how his name's spelled. But his name's Ryan Holland for anybody who's making inquiries. He has just made these business cards for me, which may or may not focus. They seem to have done it now. There you go, look at that. How fucking amazing is this? This is the best business card I've ever seen, and I'm so proud to say it's mine. He kept me in the loop throughout this whole process of doing it, and I just cannot say how appreciative I actually am of all this. Mate, this means the absolute world to me, lad. You're one of my best mates in the world. He's helped me out so much of all this channel, and it just means the world to me. Like I said, the new logo was, he did a massive help towards doing that. He just polished it all up and everything, and then I just did like the quick pastel colours behind it, and I record the music and all that type of crap, but he's the big reason behind that looking so much better and professional. So mate, thank you so much. And if I see anyone who's an LRG fan at any conventions, you'll be getting one of these cards in future, so this could be going in your wallet, let me tell you. Anyway, thank you all for watching the video so much. As I always say, if you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. Until next time, peace.